Hello, it's Bailey and welcome back to my channel. It is time for Q3 stats. I love stats. If you don't, that's fine. You don't have to listen to these. I just love the comparison of like this quarter to last year. So if you are also interested in seeing that, I hope you will stick around. I know that these graphs look a little bit different than how I generally speak them. So these first few graphs are all comparing my average per month from last year to this specific quarter to then my average from Q1 and Q2, just so you can kind of see this quarter compared to normal. As always, I'm reading these stats off of a list, so if I'm looking down, that's what's going on. But I did read 34 books in Q3, which was 9,746 pages, which was a lot of pages, and also 157 physical reading hours, which is also a lot of physical reading hours. But my average reading speed per hour was only 62.1, which is very low. And in total, I listened to 35 hours of audiobooks, which is pretty low, but I'm not generally an audiobook lover, so I'm plenty happy with that. I read 13 physical books, 10 ebooks, 6 audiobooks, and 5 ARCs. This is bad. You're all gonna know this is bad. I read 19 books that I owned, 6 from the library, 4 ARCs, 3 from Kindle Unlimited, and 2 from Libro FM, which is an audiobook service. And I will just point out, if you heard me say 5 ARCs in the format I read them in, and then 4 ARCs in the place I sourced them from, it is because I had let an ARC archive, that's hard to say, an ARC archive, and so I actually read it from my library even though it was an ARC, so I reviewed it. So silly. Getting into my genres, this is a pretty typical genre chart for me, but I had 11 romances, 8 adventure, 5 fantasy, 4 mystery, 2 nonfiction, and 1 each of contemporary, horror, historical, and sci-fi. For age ranges, I read 23 adult books, 8 children's, 2 middle grades, and only 1 young adult. And for the year that these books were published, I read 11 that were published before 2010, 3 from 2010 to 2019, 15 recent backlists from 2020 to 2022, and 5 2023 releases. Now for my star ratings, I did DNF 2 books. I had 1 1-star, 10 2-stars, 6 3-stars, 11 4-stars, and 4 5-stars. My 2 stars almost beat my 4 stars, which I don't like to happen, do not want to happen. But this made my average rating for this quarter a 3.44, which is not bad. Now, just to kind of fill you in on where I'm sitting on some of my goals, I'm doing pretty good, but there's a couple standouts that I'm really kind of failing at this point, but for the most part, I think I'm doing fairly well. A standout failure for me is my rereads. I had set a goal to read 10% rereads this year, and I am currently at 4.3%, but I had 0% this quarter. Like, I read no rereads this quarter, so I kind of really brought that down this quarter. I am good at reading less than 20% audiobooks. I am at 17.9%. I'm also good on my goal to read 10% nonfictions, just barely. I am at 10.3%, so I definitely need to keep an eye on that to make sure I stay above that 10% to finish out the year. But for now, I'm doing well. I am so close to my goal of reading 13% fantasies at 12.8%, so close. I wanted to read 15% 2023 releases, and I knew that as the year went on, this number would increase per month. So like the beginning of the year, it was harder to read 2023 releases than it is at the end of the year. So I do think I'm picking up pace on this, but I'm currently down a little bit. My goal was 15%, and I'm currently at 10.3%, but it went up this quarter. I wanted to read 30% books that included some kind of queer representation, so I'm at 31.5%, so doing good there. And I'd like to try to read over 20% authors of color, and I'm currently at 25.6%, so again, doing good there. And here's my big failure. I am trying to read 75% books that I own, and for the year, I'm currently at 68.4%. But this quarter, I only did 55.9%, so I brought that average down. Whoopsie. So I'm hoping basically in the month of December that I can really focus and reflect on these goals again and specifically read to bring my percentages up. We'll see how that goes. I have pretty set plans for the month of October as well as the month of November. So December, we'll try to make that my redemption month. I do have a thing I'm trying to do in December as well, but it shouldn't take up all my reading for that month. And I should be able to specifically pick books for that also do help my stats. Lastly, I don't know why I kind of look at these separately than all those percentages I just told you, but I had set a goal to finish 9 series this year and I'm currently at 6, which technically does put me like 1 behind, so I need to finish some more by the end of the year. I would like to finish 3 more. That's how 6 gets to 9. And I also had set a goal to have my average page length per book be over 350, which when I exclude the Magic Treehouse series, which I usually do, at the end of the year, I'll probably share my stat for this that includes them and excludes them. But while excluding them, I am at 373 pages per book, so that is over 350, but this specific quarter I managed to have that average be 433.9, which is long. So I was reading very long books. That's why you'll notice my books per month wasn't as high as like my pages per month. I've been reading chunky things. And so that's where I'm sitting at quarter 3. Again, I'm kind of just like trucking along this year. I'm doing like good on certain things, not as good on certain things, but there's nothing super standout to me that I'm really failing at. So I feel pretty good going into this last quarter. I do just want to mention that I've already made the decision that in 2024, that seems weird to even say out loud, but in 2024, I don't think I'm going to do monthly wrap-ups. I think I'm just going to do quarterly wrap-ups. And so in 2024, these will also include like the list and ratings of every single book that I read. I guess let me know what you think of that idea, if you think these are going to get too long, but I just don't think they will. I don't tend to say much about the books when I like hold them up and tell you what I rated them. So I think it'll be okay. I'll just keep them even shorter than I already do. Mostly this is because I vlog almost every single book I read, so it just doesn't feel necessary to like repeat myself so many times. I definitely can say less. So thank you so much for spending some time with me today, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.